I'm ready, but I'm not ready for it.
Facts. Well, hi everybody. I am Shan from She Gets It Pod. That is
And
Eruth.
yes,
You know what I'm
from
saying?
the
Eruth.
looking glass.
Yes. Yes, she is. Okay. Eruth is a very consistent, intelligent woman that will always be the pop in of knowledge on the show that Greg and I do for Loud Loud Stereo on here. And we just became kinfolk through stereo, okay, by way of stereo. And
Yes.
she brought it to my attention that people were in their feelings about people with verified checks, okay, and not just verified checks on stereo, but verified checks everywhere on social media. So we just wanted to address it.
Yes. But let me first also say that I just want to say how much I appreciate your mentorship. And I'm not saying that just for like the sake. I'm very funny about that. No, I'm really funny about just for the sake of. I don't like the whole like the sake of just saying things because I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm saying it for. Like, am I saying it because I see people saying it or I don't know? Like, I'm very weird like that. But when I recognize Real and Love and you and Greg, I feel like I remember the day when we were in the talk. Like Kevin was playing some video game,
Yeah.
and I feel like we was in the video game because we were talking about social media. We were talking about technology. It's so crazy, but I still remember that day like it was yesterday. And y'all are awesome. And we just vibed and we just picked up from there. We've learned so much from you. And you encourage us a lot too. Like we were on this pathway of trying to figure out like how do we navigate the social media streets because I was kind of scared for a long time. I was like, I can't deal with this. What's this? A button that like I can't. I tomorrow.
Right.
And I put it off. And then finally I was like, okay, I can kind of see and understand a little bit more. And you and Greg have done that for not just us, but I'm sure so many people because you all have really great talks about how to navigate through social media. And hopefully anybody who is serious about going that path will sit in one of your talks and hear what you have to offer. So, but it's beyond that, of course. But that's just a little smidget of just I want to say. I
Well,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you. I'm glad my home training is reaching somebody. Okay. Because I ain't got a
Yes.
lot, but I got a little bit. And the little bit that I give, I'm glad you appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I don't know. Between Greg and I, we just really want to talk about things that matter and things that can actually make a difference. And the reason why you and Kev latched on is because y'all got sense. Y'all some black folk with common sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mama, West Indian family, that you're
Hello.
not gonna get far. You're
Hello.
not. They're not gonna let you get far without calling you out real fast about the stupidness. You're stupid.
Hello.
Yeah. So yeah, you learn real early.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So we are here because we, you know, want to know, why do people think this verified check makes people better or makes people right, or they assume people to not be on the same level of humanage, if that is a word, because they have a
Yes.
to their name when it comes to social media. And I'll allow you to break this into your peeve about people and what they assume when it comes to people with a check next to their name.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna go with what I started from in terms of when I saw the check. And I didn't when I first saw the check, I was like, oh, okay, these must be like the folks that started. I didn't even think I thought so deeply about it. I just saw the check and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a person that I want to listen to. Right.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing. Like I want to see what they're talking about. And even without that, there's so many people that I've listened to talk to that don't have check marks because we're really all just here expressing ourselves. And
Right.
some of us, I think, of course, have a mission, right? So like one thing I know, I try to be consistent about what is it I talk about. If anybody does follow me, they know I talk about like white supremacy. That's like the mission right now is to dive into that and how many conversations as possible, whatever layers that it takes. And so I think when I thought about checkmark, I just thought, oh, I saw that it says you can get verified. I don't know. I'm going to submit this and see where this goes. And of course, I always share content because I'm talking about a specific thing, right? So if you go to my page, you'll see I have all kinds of stuff specifically about white supremacy that I'm trying to cover, that I'm making my point across, bring my point across. And one
Yeah.
thing I hear a lot of people talk about when it comes down to the check mark is, it's funny, like just maybe I don't know how long it was, but I was in a talk and I heard someone talking about how people had changed from the morning show to the later show because folks who saw that this particular person had gotten a check mark, they were questioning them. How did you get it? What did you have to do to get it? How did you get it before me? And
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, well, I don't think anybody, I mean, I don't know what the real parameter, they tell you, but you never know exactly what it actually is. But you just move on, like I didn't make a big to do was like a big celebration for me. It was like, okay, this is the natural way of whatever this process is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to continue to be who I've always been. And hopefully whatever comes out of this, I hope that it's what I'm trying to do, which is have really open, free thinking conversations where we don't even have to be in the box anymore about how people talk about certain things, that we just come here and just be us.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to walk y'all through just a little bit of what it like, where some of the friction is. So this is precisely what happened this past, I don't know what day it was, but I walked into a chat,
Mm-hmm.
and the chat was about the subject was is stereo homophobic. And my first thought was, well, I don't think stereo as an app, no. And I've heard people, for the most part, my experiences have been positive. Even if I heard foolishness,
Mm-hmm.
overall, most people that I've seen on stereo in different talks are very loving, like very welcoming. Everybody's like networking, everybody's like shouting and cheerleading each other. So the few that I do see, it's not enough for me to be like, okay, they're gonna change my life. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just address them, right? And so my response was, I feel like stereo isn't. I've had really great experiences with people so far. That was the one message. And then I came back and thought, I was like, you know what? But I have heard certain people coming on my shows who'll be straight up just like, niggers, this, just straight up. I'm like, well, of course there's going to be a few. This is the
Yeah.
world we live in. I don't pay them no mind. I just try to address my point with their position and then go from there. And so one of the responses were from the host that I actually went into the talk because I was like, oh, this is a cool topic. Let me go in and see what they're talking about. Let me go support. Like I want to be, I want to see what's going on in the conversation. And the
Mm-hmm.
response was, after I came back and said the second time, which was I have seen a few people that have been hateful, but in the Black community, we're struggling with that already, with homophobia and the different fights of, you got to be on the social justice part of fighting for Black people, and then the rights of Black people over the LGBTQ community. We know that argument's going on, but I don't take a particular stance on it because in my family, I have my daughter, I have cousins, I have a whole bunch of people in my family that are LGBTQ. So for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
like they're just human beings to me. I don't even think that far into like trying to focus on the things that may seem like a hurdle or obstacle, because I don't want my daughter to live in a world of thinking that something about her is going to give her limitations. So we don't even
Right.
really talk about it in that sense unless it comes up. Then we have like really deep conversations like, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? Anyway, so I said, well, I think that with people changing, right, because people are learning about the different LGBTQ folks in the community. People are learning a whole bunch of shit. Some people don't even know racism exists until 2020, girl. So it's, I'm
Fortunately.
thinking, right. So my thought was, okay, well, so I said, well, people are changing and learning. And sometimes I think we have to be a little patient with even allowing them to get there, because some people have been conditioned. A lot of us have been conditioned into the ideologies we have anyway. I didn't say that specifically, but that was kind of the content. The response was, oh, oh, I see you got a check mark. Oh. And I'm like, oh yeah, but what about what I said? Like the content of what, Then the next thing
Yeah.
it was, so people get check marks all of a sudden, and they think that they come up here and they say what they want to say. And I'm thinking to myself, what? And then the next comment was, oh, people are so dismissive. I'm like, what? I thought we was, wait a minute. What's happening here? Hold on now. Wait,
Oh, so fast. What happened?
so fast. And so I said what my piece. I said, anybody who knows me knows I'm consistent about what I say. Like I'm not, I really try to be fair. I try to see as many sides as possible. I'm going to be wrong. I want somebody to check me if I'm wrong. And, I started going into, I was like, you know what, girl, you don't got to do all this. Just don't go ahead. And I learned this from you, because I remember you telling me one of the talks, like, Ruthie, just don't even, just keep it moving. And I just
Mm-hmm.
decided after a while, I was like, you know what? It's not really about anything that I said. It's about this damn check mark, and it's stupid because
Yeah.
it's not that serious. To me, it's not enough. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't mean that anybody is any better. We're not making the decisions on the check mark. Somebody else is making this decision on the check mark for us. So we just live in that world of that reality wherever that finds us. And that's sort of what happened in the day in the life of stereo, checkmark streets, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Okay. So I'm gonna play these voicemails, and I'm gonna tell you what the meaning is behind my check mark and discuss what happened with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Good evening. Well, it's actually good night
Hello.
right now. I'm going to stay up as long as I can for y'all. Hey, Eruth. Hello,
Hey,
She Gets It
hey.
Pod. Looking
Music.
forward to this. And both of you, I don't know you, She Gets It Pod, but I know both of you deserve it. I'm happy to see y'all winning and thriving. And get
Thank
it, black girls.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. She's awesome too.
Hey, what's your favorite actor?
Go
Me
to bed.
cheering. Me
Go
cheering.
So, peace to Eruth, peace to She Gets It Pod,
Rashad.
talking about a verified check does not make you better. I agree. It does not make me better, does not make you two better.
Yes.
However, let's take the props that it does give us. It does make us more compelling. So when people are swiping through this app and they see two people who are talking and they don't have check marks, whether they be women or male, white, black, whatever, the fact that you two have check marks does make it so somebody who doesn't even know who y'all are might sit back and be like, yo, hold up, who are they?
Mm-hmm.
And it does add a level of seriousness, right? Because some people are on here just making fart noises and
Yes.
saying inappropriate things in the comments, you know what I'm saying? And some
Yeah.
people are really on here like a brand, and some people, you know what I mean? So it does not make you better. Nothing makes us better, right? It
Right.
just makes you perceived a little bit more serious, you know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, though.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That is
Rashad.
that is true. That is true. I think the check marks just tell me that someone is consistent in doing something, but I'm not sure what they do yet.
Yes.
But I
I would
don't
concur.
put a check mark next to somebody and be like, oh, they're a goddamn genius. They have all the money in the world, and
Right.
I can ask them anything about my life and they will point me in the right direction. I do not think that, but there are
Right.
people out here that think that.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting too. I remember when I first came on the app and somebody was telling me, oh, that Jeff Ross is on the app. I was like, oh, I like Jeff Ross.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, let me hurry up and go and listen and just be in these talks. My thing was like, I want to explore people. I just want to go on a trip. I can't go anywhere, but I can go and listen and talk to people. And this is such a different type of experience because on social media, where you're typically texting or commenting in the comment section or
Yeah.
posting or what have you, you're able to like listen and receive people's like energies and give back and really take the time to really explore and hopefully get to a place where, like, you know, we're trying to get to solutions or wherever we're trying to get to. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something that I think is missed, and knowing what people's purpose, I don't know if it's important for people to express like what their purpose is. I kind of almost felt myself getting there. Like, do I have to
Mm-hmm.
go and explain to people like why this happened or how this happened or how do I figure it out? Or, you know, so then you start to get into like this place that somebody else wants you to get to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not really about anything. It's no progress or nothing. It's simply just some kind of like egotistical thing. And it doesn't have to be that way, especially since we're on the app talking about we're trying to move the needle on being better than what was.
Right. And that's why I say that stereo is just the world on a device that has a mic, right? And there's always going to be people who don't like you. They don't want to hear what you want to say, got to say, and they want to change the subject. They want to come in and say, "What do you think about the Orange Man? What do you think about Bill?
Mm.
What do you, sir? We are talking about tomatoes and why they are red. Why are you bringing that up?" So there will always be that. But some people just have this illusion that I want to talk about why I love this and why I am this, and I'm going to be very sensitive and be in my feelings because people don't agree with me. And those are
Yeah.
the people that need to step away from social media until they are ready to face the fact that some people are just not going to like you. Some people are
Yeah.
just like the way that you live, and that is going to be okay. But we cannot come on. apps, and we cannot come on the internet, and we cannot have discussions wanting to fight and argue with everybody that disagrees with us.
Yes. And I think that's sort of the crux at it too. Like, I remember when one of the talks I came in, I just heard people arguing. I was like, "What is this?" I thought we didn't want to hear like not like this.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear, like, we've been hearing those type of arguments for so long. But I get it, because in the age of reality TV, the talk shows, all these things, that's kind of the format. The housewives, like, people are looking for, some people still looking for, like, the messiness, right? Like, it's entertaining, and I'm never going to be like jumping somebody else's way of them having entertaining conversations. I leave those people to be, and then of course sometimes it seems welcoming, right? And this is thing I say sometimes too. I remember I was in one talk where we were talking about like pedophilia or something, and that's one of the topics. I talk about this stuff too. Like, we're just very passionate about trying to do something about it, talk about it, bring awareness to it, but just put it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And in the chat, it was like I was saying to my point of view, because I've been watching a lot of documentaries on pedophilia, like trying to understand like the mindset of it and all this different stuff, to hopefully be a part of like a way to bring forth a solution. And the response was, it's like this thing where like death and nothing else. And I'm like, well, is there another solution? Because we can't find and kill everybody. You can't kill everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, can we get into some context about what's happening here so we can understand? Because every situation is different. This doesn't mean there's an excuse. It means that we just have to be more smarter about how we approach a situation. So in the conversation, I had to say, I was like, I feel like you're slapping me and you're hugging me at the same time. I don't know which way to go, And that's sort of the place that you find, like, some people, I feel like they want to tell you how to speak. Like, you should say things this way, right? And it's like, well, that's not, like, we should be coming as who we are, and we learn as we go as a result of that too. And I think that what happens when you people start to see the check marks, there's a whole bunch of layers of questions. How did you? What makes you? Who says that you're this important? And I don't think it has to. It's very unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do want to give credit to folks who are trying to be serious, to Rashad's point, like, take the time to be serious, and you're trying to be consistent with them, right? Because I think some of it too is supporting where you can support, where you can go in and chime in and be a part of the conversation. Absolutely. It always makes the conversation better, because now you're starting to vibe off of people. We're starting to hear different perspectives and hopefully be open to it. And I think that maybe there needs to be like a regular type of conversation, not so much about the check mark, but about the type of conversations, the intention of conversation that people are having. It's just hard to do on this app. We can't do everything. I guess I'm trying to solve too many problems, girl.
That's why sometimes I'm just like, oh, that needs to be a Zoom between me and you,
right.
and some discussions need to be open like this, so we could gauge like people's thoughts. But I'm gonna play these things.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I hate to be like this now that I'm like, a little bit more accustomed to the app and rubbed elbows with those who didn't have check marks but got check marks now. As a check mark verified content, unless your joint is super fire, I definitely check for other people with check marks, for lack of a better word, as somebody to co-host with, because of that same dynamic I told you about. So it doesn't make us better. It just means that we're kind of on the app with a little bit more purpose, right?
Yeah. Similarity, go and find similarities, say.
Yeah.
Something to belong to.
I really love this topic that you guys are talking about. I think it's something that needs to be said, because this stereo app is such a great avenue to be able to just discuss things with different people who have different opinions. But there is a lot of toxic people on this app.
Oh yeah.
I've been a part of many great podcasts, and then I've been a part of ones that are just straight, every time someone comments, it's just hate. So if we can build this app to provide a better environment for everyone, I think this app can go really far.
I agree.
doesn't that also though mean though that it is up to, I mean, I heard this too, someone say to me, you have a platform,
Yeah.
right? And I was the discussion was about police, of course. Every now every Friday, I don't know how often the Fridays are, but I do a talk with Ask a Cop, because I'm very curious about people who are really really different from me. Like I'm trying to get to a place where instead of me going into a conversation and kind of being a parrot with everybody else, I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that I'm clear. I don't come to the table with the assumptions when I didn't really get a chance to give somebody the chance who we're talking about to be
Mm-hmm.
able to tell me who they actually really are versus somebody else telling me who they are and how to think.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that this is someplace, there is sort of like a tribal, kind of a tribal energy that does go out on the app. But I
Yeah.
do think it's up to people who, you know, I was talking about the talk, sorry, where the lady said to me about the police officers. And I said, you know what, for me, I've never had a negative experience, but that doesn't mean that I don't know that I have people that I know that have had negative experiences with police officers. And she said, you know, you should be, you know, why are you putting that out there? I said, well, I can't create I'm not going to create no narrative now.
Yeah.
It's not about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it 100 about me while also still being able to acknowledge what I was able to know. If I don't know it though, I can't speak to it. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of that thing to where people are also asking, like, you have to carry this weight. I'm like, you know, I'm just a regular person on the streets. Um, I
People
am not an activist yet, at
like
least, you know.
when they see someone that kind of looks like them, could possibly be related to them because they're similar, and they look of my skin tone, and they have how much money? Oh, they need to be doing this. They need to put their money here. They need to make a hospital. They need to buy
Yes,
this. You cannot delegate whether somebody is pink, purple, green, white, orange, whatever, what they do with their money, what they do with their hard earned income.
yes, yes,
Can't do that, because if it was you on the flip side, you wouldn't want anyone telling you what you can do with your money when you
yes,
good investments, when you took the time and you sacrificed to not have for a while so you can have right now. People have to learn to park their opinions because they do not matter. We are not the same. Our
yeah,
hustle is the same. That is why I am in this bracket and you are in this bracket. But I'm not saying you can't get here. But when you get here, then maybe you can make the hospital. Then maybe
yes,
run the business. Then maybe you can open all those schools that you think I should open. But we have to stop deciding what millionaires and billionaires, who might be Indian, who might be black, who might be white, wherever they are, what they should do with their money, what they should do
yeah,
with it. Because I tell you what, if I had $1 to my name and no house and no car, nobody will be able to tell me what I can do with my children. Nobody would be able to tell me what I can do with that dollar. But we're so caught up in the fact that maybe a celebrity does have a verified check.
yeah,
Maybe someone popular does have a verified check, and they post their child, or they post a video, or they post a shoe that they bought that we probably could never afford, and we want to judge them because that's what they chose to purchase.
yeah.
Who are you?
Yes. And that's the thing. If you don't like it, you can just keep on. You don't. And that's one thing too. I remember when I was kind of, this is one thing, this is one of the reasons why I stayed away from social media. Cause I used to feel like compelled, like, do I have to like this? Like, I'm a strong believer. If I like something, I'm going to like it. Cause I don't want anybody liking anything. I mean, you know, we support. But if you truly just don't like it, you don't have to like
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? And this was a battle for me for a long time. Cause I'm like, well, I'm sure there's things that people don't like about me, and that's okay, right? Because if I'm approaching every single thing that I do with, is somebody gonna like this? I'm gonna be a shell,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna talk about me and be like, she fake as hell. It's like you can't win, right? So even with the people who are like what you're talking about, the rich people, right? We
Yeah.
don't know, like you said, we don't know. I remember there was an article about Jay-Z, and they were like, Jay-Z has all this money, and why hasn't he done all these things for the community? And then
Yeah.
when you got a chance to dive a little bit deeper, you're like, well, he is doing some things, but we can't tell him how to move his money. And then when you do things for people, sometimes they don't even appreciate it.
They
They just
don't
didn't.
they don't appreciate it. Just like you can't have somebody who never had anything, doesn't know how to handle money, and give them $15 million tomorrow and tell them to, make it work. They're
Right.
going to splurge on bullshit.
You know it, girl.
That's
The
what
very first thing.
And this is why I live in Atlanta, and in Atlanta on TV it's easy to have the illusion that you're very rich and you're very wealthy, but there are some very wealthy parts of Atlanta. There are some very wealthy people that live in Atlanta. There are some great houses. They drive some very nice cars, and yes, I do like to drive the back streets through those communities just so I can see what is out there. And when I look at houses and I look at their lawns and I look at their gardens and shit and their cars and their Maybachs, I am 3 cars back with no cars in between because I cannot afford it.
Right.
Right. And I
It's
am
like
imagining
3
like
cars.
what is their problems like with all that
Yeah.
money? And it's
Because you know they
problems
got problems. You know they got
it's
problems.
problems that will make you jump out of a skyscraper out the fucking window when shit goes wrong. And I know I'm not built for that yet. Maybe one day I might get there, but people need to learn to handle the life that is in front of them.
Yes.
So the shit that is around you and stop minding other people's lifestyles because I cannot afford your lifestyle just like I cannot afford your problems. But one day I'm going to get there, but the Lord is working with me where I'm at.
Exactly.
That is.
Yeah. And that's where I think some of the frustration comes in too, because we are in such a society where everyone is wanting to look like, do like, be like everybody else, while also telling people not to look like, be like me. You know, like don't step into your own lane, but also why aren't you stepping in that lane? Why aren't you get that booty done like the rest of us? It's like, what? Hey, we don't all want to get the booty done, and if you do want to get the booty done, it's okay. That's your business.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want a BBL. Maybe I like my what do you call this? My fupa.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe it keeps my hands warm when I'm on the couch. I know the Lord put my ass in front of me so I could keep an eye on it. It's in my bra, you know what I'm saying? He did a whole bunch of back there, and I don't feel any way about women feeling like they need to go get their bodies done because they are not the representation of who I need to be. I know who I need to be. I am who I am, and I'm comfortable in that. But some people don't have the willpower to say, hey, this is my body and I'm comfortable with this. They want to get popular. And when you keep searching for what's popular, you're going to lose yourself because you're not spending the time to get to know who the hell you are. Yes.
And that goes to the point. People who want to have a different mind because everybody else has that same mindset. You don't have to. This is a thing too. Like, I don't like people trying to pigeonhole me into their point of view. I mean, share it with me. I want to know. I want to hear it. Right. But then I don't have to be stuck with where you are at. We can have different perspectives. I remember you were having a talk with Greg, and I remember saying out loud too, like, you know, Shan, I love you. I said, even though I disagree with some of the things y'all say, I'm here for it because I'm learning.
Yeah.
And it makes me appreciate your position. So like when I'm talking to somebody else who's completely ignorant of your position, right? I can say, well, actually, no, that's not what they do. I actually know somebody who is, and that's not what they do. So, you know, you could clarify because then people not only not walking away, everybody not walk away ignorant, mad as hell about somebody they think is a person that they think that, you know, whatever their accusations are, rather than being clear about it and saying, okay, now I know because I listened a little, I was allowed to be able to be a part of this conversation and disagree. It is okay. It's all right.
Facts.
All right. I'm sorry. We're going to get our messages, y'all.
About to do a run through these messages.
Okay, so now I'm hearing a scenario that you're talking about. Yeah, best believe there's going to be animosity and hate from people that you can't worry about because you're definitely not on that level. So
yeah,
it's definitely not that serious for them to be hating on us, but we can't worry about that. They're just people that be hating on stuff. So
yeah,
X.
That's true.
Put your panties out your butt cheek.
But they do be acting though. They be like, I'm here and I'm growth and I'm love. And then I'm like, so I live on that. Like, if you tell me who you are, I'm going to take it for what it is. And then over time, if something changes, it's going to reveal itself, right? Like I've gotten a lot better with that. I used to be like, nope, I don't trust nobody. Let me get off this road. I can't. Still to this day, I can't drive in Atlanta. I just was like, why are these people here on this road today? Why am I out here in these streets? Can I get back in the house? You know what I'm saying? But then that don't even change anything either, because now I'm a victim of my own ignorance because I'm sitting in here. You know what I mean? So it's like even having the courage to be able to say, okay, I'm okay with the challenge, but then to your point, at what point do you say, all right, enough is enough already. I do got to walk away. There's nothing here to gain, even though you're telling me that there's something here to gain. But things will reveal itself. And in the stereo streets too, I remember when I first came on, I used to just wait and listen to chat before I even said something. And then sometimes you just, a question, let me try to jump in too. And I think that there is sort of a need for a stereo etiquette, but to somebody's point earlier, but I think that we have to sort of be that example. You're going to go into certain talks and hear certain people have an approach that's different from other people. And if that's something that you like, and you like the consistency of that, rock with that. Right. If you don't, then like the point, keep swiping. It's okay.
Like I welcome anybody to swipe me. Swipe this conversation if it ain't your tea. Go find tea, because we can't all be drinking the same thing. Mm-mm. But I just why do you purposely come out your way to tell someone, why are y'all talking about this? This is dumb. Why are you here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or derailing the conversation. But sometimes people come in and they just like, this happens to our talks too. We're here for 8 hours. I'm like, damn, we got all these messages. And it's people that are the same. I'm like, we're not really covering there's like 20 messages here and we haven't talked about anything. Like, you trying to troll me now? You got to be the troll. Then you can start making sense to yourself. So there's a lot of lessons to learn in that too. And that you do got to have a thicker skin. You're going to learn to have a thicker skin, because what you going to do? You're going to cry. Like, we're going to get stuck in it forever. But it does have an impact though. I will say that people in the moment, people do have to be aware of the impact that they have. But if they ain't there yet, that's okay. But I do sort of wish that people will stop acting like that they, are like trying to be better. And then when you try to be better with them, they're like, oh, nope, I don't want to hear it. Nope. What? Hold on.
Greg and I did a show last night and we were talking about positivity, mind you. And this man came on, he was like, people need to see the world like I see it, through Jesus' eyes, and be good and be positive. And in the same message, by the end of the message, he said, but y'all don't love me when I say that. Y'all hate when I say that. Y'all probably want to kill me. It's like, where are we going? We're taking such a left turn that was very sharp. Like, you came on here to instigate some shit sideways where we were not going. And said, Greg, let me do this big U right here, because we're not what we're not about to do. And you're always gonna have people that want to do that. But I think if you know who you are before the money, before the fame, before the prosperity, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine. Okay. This ain't for everybody, but I feel like stereo is a great way to connect with real people all over the world. And sometimes, yes, you're going to have children that come in here and they should be in bed in their pajamas that match with their socks, but sometimes they don't, because their parents are just them and they end up on this app. But for the most part, I don't look at this app one way, because it has too many people with too many personalities to be like, this app is this.
Yes. You can't. It's a mistake. It's a mistake to do that, because number one, sometimes you have to be in multiple people's talks in order for you to fully get where people are going. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to keep listening a couple times and even asking questions and keep coming back. And there's sometimes where it can get really, there can be some contention, and people could feel like, well, I'm not welcome. And I've felt like that before too. I'm like, you know what, let me get up out of here. But then I went back and I listened. I'm like, girl, you repeated yourself like 25 times. Of course they needed to move on.
Right.
Learn a lesson. You know what I mean?
We gonna play some more messages.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why I feel like being stupid, but like my mans and them is working on an app. And wouldn't it be funny if like we could just mess the whole world up with this whole check mark fatigue, this check mark stigma, and be like, yeah, Eruth and She Gets It Pod, they on our app, they got their check mark, but Rashad Radio got a double check. Ooh, who got the double check?
And start getting triple checks and four checks and a whole box. Damn, connect the dots of checks right underneath their name. Like, it's crazy. That's funny though. That'd
Yeah,
be interesting.
right. Go ahead and give me one.
Sup, ladies? How y'all doing tonight? And you right, a verified check don't mean nothing. You can go out and buy yourself some Instagram followers, some Twitter followers, and
You
then
Yes,
can?
get verified on this app
yes,
same day. Don't mean nothing. It's
yes.
about the content you provide.
Thanks. Bacon and
Thank
eggs.
you.
We are here.
Wait,
Hey,
so
ladies, good afternoon. I've been listening to the show for about just over 10 minutes. I'm agreeing with most things that you guys have been talking about. The check mark definitely does not make us better. I agree with you, but it does show like who's been consistent
Yes.
as she gets paid said. So yeah,
Yes.
great show so far. I'll keep
Thank
listening.
you. What are you
thank
gonna
you.
say?
No, I was just saying, wait, okay, you could buy okay, not that I'm interested because I don't care. But
Buy
that
followers on Twitter. They buy followers on IG.
wow.
You ever seen like
Wow.
to your DM and say, "Hey, I can get you 10,000 followers if you just like no swipe, delete, block." Like, I don't want. This is my thing on all of my pages. I have 4 different Instagrams for different reasons.
Yeah.
None of them are OnlyFans. If you come on my page and you actually like what's on my page, that's cool. I appreciate it. If you share
Yeah.
it, cool. I appreciate it. But if you don't like it and you follow me, I don't understand that. If we don't
Yeah.
speak at all and you follow me and you're consistently checking my stories and we've never spoken, I don't get that either. But my thing is I don't want to have people follow me or phony engage with me if we
Yes.
talk. And I like to filter through people who follow me on Twitter, people who follow me on here, which is very hard because there's a lot of people, and people who
Yeah.
follow me on IG because I actually want to talk to people who find something interesting about me because I want to know what it is. I want you to
Right.
be a mirror for me about me. And you should want that vice versa about the people around you because if you don't check the energies around you, you might find yourself in something that you shouldn't be in.
Yes. And you know what I want to talk about too is like how important it is for us to it's so crazy. I was gonna say how important it is for us to trust what we feel like right away.
Yeah.
And I know better. I do know better.
Yeah.
But I also have this thing about me where I'm just like, well, let me wait because I am a sensitive person. So sometimes I might misinterpret myself, or sometimes I might not even understand. So I'll wait and I'll try to get more, or I'll ask like, so wait, I don't know what you mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, so I'm on this kind of weird, like this like fine thin line that I walk of wanting to make sure that I don't assume something from somebody like just right off the bat. And so sometimes I'll be like, well, I just don't feel right, but let me
Yeah.
wait. Let me just wait. Because it could just be me. I could be tripping. But then you can learn. But the great thing about it is that when you learn your lesson, you're like, okay, now I know exactly how to keep trusting myself. And
Yeah.
that's something too. Like even on the app too, I'm funny about this too because I know Chan. I'll be like Chan. We talk on the side, and I'm like, girl, I'm like, oh, you the best. Like, and I mean it because it's like in that moment, I'm in what you get. If I don't like you, not because I don't like you, but if I know that the energy's not there, I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna kind of just okay. Well, if I see you, I'm be nice and hey, how you doing? And that's it. I could be
So
cordial.
that talk that you and Kid was having like at 1 a.m., right? That night when I was like,
Yeah.
I was switching out my bookshelf and stuff and I was switching around the living room.
Yes. Yes.
This man is consistently coming in with a negative comment about why we should be praising our slave master or
Oh
being
God.
against people who are against people that look like him, you, and I. And I'm just like, sir,
I
would
can't.
you please get out the app and go to bed?
Yes.
you're not convincing two people who know the struggles of the people before them to be okay with people hating them because of the skin that they're in. That is not going to happen. And he was
Girl, I'm like
so
Twilight Zone.
letting that happen and letting you guys get the fact that it's okay. It is not okay.
Yeah.
But you
It's crazy. Yeah.
because this is the thing. A lot of people still don't know the difference between a preference and having a prejudice.
Tell
A
him,
lot,
girl.
a lot of people think, "Oh, I just don't like that," because your because matters.
Mm.
Your because matters. It's the difference between having a preference, not because other people are less or something else is less, but because you just like it because you like it. Like that's the thing, that it does something for you. You're attracted to it. You like it, but you're not
Yes.
that shit, and that's really dumb to like that. And this is the only thing that's right. Okay, that's the difference, and people need
Yeah.
to understand the difference. Maybe it's because people don't use dictionaries anymore, and they
Yeah.
just rely on
Yes. Maybe.
OG
Maybe.
and
Is it maybe though?
this. I'm saying, my child has a dictionary with pictures and lots of words coming tomorrow by on, because I don't want her stuck on, I'm going to talk to a device and it's going to tell me how to spell a word and I don't have to do the
Yes.
work to find it. And I think people
Yes.
do the work to figure out, why do I think the way that I think?
Yeah.
It's very important. Why do you think that this person is right just because there's a check next to their name? Why do you
Yes.
think that this person liking this bag or this shirt means millions of people have to go buy this thing? And
Right.
businesses profit off of people with checks next to their name because they know people are simple minded today to think everything they wear, everything they do is
Shame.
seen right because of this check. We have to stop giving the check power. The check does mean that you're consistent, but whatever you're consistent in does not make it right.
Right. And you have, I think, and people have to know, we all have a right to not like or to like, right? Like me, I was thinking about the fact that when I like, a lot of the times I'm encouraging. I'm like, yes, I want to see more. Keep doing this. Keep going. Keep going. Like that's my like. That's my when I'm like, so, or something that makes you smile, or it's just something cute, or it just makes you feel warm, or sometimes it's just don't make no damn sense. I'm like, y'all are goddamn fools today. I'm gonna like this shit because you did make me giggle, even
Yeah.
though I feel bad about it. And I'll say something like, I do, girl, I'll be in the comments like, y'all know y'all wrong for this because, we need to overcome, but her knees was bad though, yo.
Yeah.
So we can be, and that's the thing, right? Is that we are a multi-dimensional type of people. To me, at least what I've experienced is that we're complicated people. And the assumptions that people decide to make all the time are so I think that's the problem. That is right there. That's the problem, is that we're making so many assumptions. Oh, you trying to say this? No, you can't tell me what I'm trying to say if you're not
I
really
said what I
listening to what
said.
I am saying.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
just exhausts me. That one just exhausts me. Sorry.
Like
Ooh, I had to
like
breathe that one in.
people would understand that people with checks next to them are being used by the public in more ways than they identify. I have this check. Meaning businesses are giving them free shit so they can post it, so they can wear it, so they can get millions of sales because they have a check next to their name.
Yes.
So when you are looked at as a target for merchandise, these people go home to packages upon shit that just sits in their house, and companies just hope for them to use it today so they can make XYZ sales. Okay? It's not because they're better people. It's not because they're doing something courageous or fantastic or something that's going to change the world. It's because people know that popularity makes money.
Yeah.
People who are loud, people who are completely wrong and obnoxious. If Kanye did not know he was Kanye, and companies knew Kanye was Kanye, Kanye be wearing so many people's shit,
Yeah.
his own stuff, and
Yeah.
making thousands of brands money. But
Yeah.
Kanye, he is head to toe in Kanye, and people need to have that mindset where I know I can make billions of dollars and make it
Mm-hmm.
brands trillions, but I'm gonna wear my own shit and make my own
Yeah.
business. And you need to be like that about whatever you're into, whatever your purpose.
Yes.
Be head to toe in that shit.
Yes.
Have it within you. Have like every day you about your shit. And
Yeah.
that's when we're gonna be more comfortable. It's not gonna be, oh, let me go get this $80,000 purse because that's what they got. Or let me get
Yeah.
something that looks like a knockoff of that because that's what they got.
Yeah.
That I've never been the girl or the woman that wants something because another woman has it or wants something
Girl,
other people.
can't. It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't, like, the stress, number one, the stress of that, girl, I can't, I don't even have it. Like, and I remember people be like, oh, you should do this, which you should do. Girl, why do you care about what I'm doing? Why you always
Yes,
caring? Why you always caring?
that is fact.
What about your life? What's
Right.
going on? It's
I
too
agree.
much.
I think there's way too much of people on this app that get so like offended when someone has a different opinion, and then it just becomes a battle.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big problem in our world today is people can't have discussions without getting heated. And I think it is smart to step away from it if you can't handle it. But I mean, what a wonderful opportunity to practice that, to have a dialogue with someone that doesn't necessarily agree with what you believe.
Yes.
So even the talk that you do with the police officer, right?
Yeah.
I remember I came into that talk and somebody commented, man, fuck police.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to no motherfucking police. But okay, sir. I'm glad that your mind is made up.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
have to get to a point where you don't automatically agree with somebody because they're doing something that you don't understand. But you have to get to a point where you can have a discussion on what is this person's why
Yeah.
they do. Not because
Yes.
you respect it, not because you agree with it, but because you can't always fight with fight.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find
Yes.
some understanding in, okay, maybe this person was raised this way. Maybe this person only seen this, and maybe this person only looked at it from one view. Let me get some understanding, break down, have a discussion, question their thoughts, and then I have a different perspective as to why they feel like this is the okay thing to do, why they feel like this is the okay way to go. Because I don't look at someone who is tan, white, very dark, brown like me, maybe lighter skin tone as being hateful automatically, wrong automatically, or completely full of goodness. Because
Right.
I make a point to tell my kids every day that your skin doesn't make you a great person. Nobody's skin makes them a great person. And you have to understand that there are going to be people that do not like you for whatever their reasons is. All you have to worry about is why you like you.
Yeah.
Every child can be told that, but every child is not being told that. And you can't allow society to teach your child that because they're not. They're going to teach them that you're wrong. This is wrong about you. You need to fix this, and you are not.
Yes. Yes. And we can't continue that. It doesn't work. Right. It is something that is so disruptive, and like it shuts down everything. And the very thing that that someone who is passionate is trying to or desires to do, which most people who are passionate, even if it gets off track a little bit, I think there's something there's something that they care about. Maybe it's not fully like shaped out. Maybe they're still learning through it. Because I went through my moments of just like being ignorant, but being mad as hell, but like not understanding like what the f- is going on here. And then people are like, girl, you just too sensitive, girl. It's okay. You go. And I'm like, you're right. That was you right. And that happens because once you start to understand, okay, it is me. This one is me. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yep, it's me. That one, yep. I did that one too. Oh, you right, girl. I fucked that shit up. You right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, and I don't mean anything. It's not even that. It's not anything that's like really like astronomical in like a deed. It's just little things like
Mm-hmm.
learning that how someone likes to love, right? Like some people like to give things. Some people like to say things. Some people like to, I don't know. Everybody has their own different kind of love
Some
language. And I'm
people
learning.
rub on things.
Yes, yes, yes. Some people, girl, you be like, but you don't, okay. You know, you'll have to. Like, let me help you, girl. Let's go. We don't have to. You don't have to have the. You don't have to buy this weekend. Yeah, and
Yes.
that's sometimes that's you telling that to yourself. You
I always
like,
talk to myself, and I don't care who hears.
yes, right.
This is how I handle myself. Okay, and
Yes,
hey, as long as you're okay with it.
exactly. And that's such an important thing that we do, right? Like people, it is important. If you talk to yourself, it's good. It's okay. People be saying, well, do you self talk back? Yes. Sometimes myself is like, yeah, bitch, no, you know, shit, you did it.
If you
You
listen
did it.
at the beginning, and I might mess up on a word, I'm a correct myself, and I'm gonna thank myself for correcting myself because
Okay.
that's what I do on a normal basis.
That's growth, girl. That's growing up. That's when you realize, like, okay, I'm trying to do the work. I got to start with me first. That means I'm going to listen to other people just a little bit more than I used to when I was passionate and I felt like I was right all the time. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've been that person. Sometimes I'm still that person because that's my understanding. But my understanding can change. You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying? And I think that even in up in these strats, people just take it there. Like, first of all, we're just meeting each other. Your expectations are very high of me, number one.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think people talk about that enough on here. Like, there's a lot of high expectations that we put on people on the app. Like, you better come, you know, wait. This person has a life like after the app shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
And some shit, you know, some shit ain't always good. Some shit is good, but they're just a person like everybody else coming to the app. And I think sometimes it's so harsh, but it's also then folks have this expectation like, well, I can say that to you. I can point out the things that are terrible about you, but I won't take any accountability, any responsibility or anything. And it's like, we're having a conversation. Somebody gonna say some shit in the conversation at some point that somebody's not gonna like. But if you care to further the conversation, you know, be a part of it. Be a part of asking questions, trying to get some clarification. And then that helps the content too, right? Because now you get to see what everybody's asking for, which is people who are having a dialogue and figuring it out together rather than shutting each other down. Because we don't want that no more. Right? We've been doing that for a long time. So I think that's just something to think about.
Claps. Do you see these claps? They look like birds. Thank you.
Oh. No, grandma, I'm looking at looking at my ceiling as I'm walking, not trying to run into the wall. Ooh,
I'm gonna play this message.
Okay.
I mean, I'm listening to y'all, man. I'm sorry for leaving so many comments, but like again, you got to remember, not only is this app new, it's new experience for all of us, whether we're serious or we're not, whether we're check marked or we're not. It's just a new experience of social media, and it's great. You gotta just look at the positive. There's always been the bullshit on Twitter. There's always been the bullshit on Facebook. There's always been the bullshit on the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we are still human. We want understanding. We still mess up. We still got growing to do. And just people got to chill with these assumptions, just like Eruth said. Like, chill. Because realistically, how many people would actually utilize and use an unlike button if it was on apps? Girl. And I feel like that will be a perfect balance to have a unlike check. I don't like this. Because people need to understand that everything you post, people are not going to like. And people deserve to be able to say, I don't like this.
Yes. And that's the thing too, because on social media, like I remember like last year, that's the thing that really ignited me, because I had been writing about this stuff for forever. But the thing that really was like, okay, girl, you got all this material. Just come on, just do what you got to do. Just Eruth, just stop fucking around, you know, like just do it, you know. And it what made me open my eyes to a lot of the things is just the way that people were talking to each other on social media. It was so nasty. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Come on now. Y'all know that this is words. You know the words got the power. Y'all out here making people angry. People at work all mad because somebody they said on something they saw on social media. Like, come
Yeah.
on. And I'm just like, this is a little outrageous because I know we have kids.
Mhm.
A lot of us got kids. And what do we teach our kids all the time? How to be respectful, how to talk to people. Don't punch your brother in the mouth. I know he keeps bothering you. But please don't kill him. I can't go to the hospital. We don't have the bills. We don't have the money. We don't have the bills to pay for the hospital bill. Like, you got to talk to your kids and try to get them together. So imagine we're interacting with other people who are raised by all kinds of people. And we don't know everybody's experiences. We don't. And we can't keep assuming that you have to be this way because right now that's the expectation. Huh? Hmm? Say who? We don't know yet. You know what I mean? And it's this what this is kind of the battle within the Black community. We have these little battles that is so unnecessary. It's just
I'm about to play these messages because
okay.
It's
I
exhausting.
apologize. It is. That's
Exactly what it is.
I think ultimately, there's a level of jealousy, right?
Yeah.
If somebody's questioning why you have received this verification, what makes you better than me, at the end of the day, you have a specific content that you're trying to get across. You are consistent, you are delightful to hear, and you're very educated in how you're trying to get your point across. And I think you are so deserving of it. And for those that are questioning why you have it and why it for me doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, it's like trying to say that you are undeserving by virtue of just being you for whatever reason they deem acceptable. But regardless, don't sweat it. You got this and you deserve it and you're worth it.
Thank you, Musing.
Thank
That
you.
was so loving. Thank you.
You made me feel like very.
I know.
And my advice for all the people that have noticed and agree that there's hate or negativity or whatever, so what, Just keep it moving. That's all I gotta say. Don't worry about it. As long as it doesn't, bombard you, that stuff will filter itself out. It won't live. It won't survive the test of time.
I will survive. Don't turn around now.
It's not working anymore.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Okay, girl. It's a jam right there.
Right. When people come in with this, I'm gonna be like, "Can you woo woo woo?" That's it. That's all I give you. And I'm gonna go on to the next thing because one monkey don't stop no show.
Yes, you do have to laugh it off to a certain degree, but I do think it's important to talk about it because people are experiencing this, and it is to me it's a sense of bullying. It's sort of it's kind of like when you're in school and it's probably like, you think you cute, don't you? You know that people say that's a Florida thing, y'all. Everybody just do you up and down, and then be like, you think you cute? You be like, girl, I just got some flip flops on today. Okay, get out my face now.
That goes on in my house. Like, I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. They're both girls, and the 7-year-old hates the fact that my 3-year-old goes in the mirror and she checks out her hair after I do it. Like, what? You're like, why?
You so mad?
Look at your hair when he does it. It's cute. She's like, is it cute? And she'll call people on her iPad and ask people, is it cute? That's her thing. But you have to understand that some people are more vain, and some people, okay, I look cute.
That's true.
I say it to myself on the inside. She's just a very out person. Like, doesn't my hair look cute?
That's true. That's true.
You better put down my charger before I knock you out. And that's how you talk to your kids when you love them.
Yes, all the time. It's the only way.
While we're on the topic, just to throw a little salt in the wound, just to be a little, make y'all think about it. What y'all know about some people that are claiming, now I'm not going to say who they are, claiming that they were rewarded the check mark without requesting it. If that was y'all two, then I'll stand back. But I like to believe that you did the same thing as me, as you contacted me, did the due diligence, and yada yada yada.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So this is a good segue.
Yes, because you were going to talk about that.
So I have this check mark on here because I have a few podcast shows outside of this app. I have Cozy One podcast. I have She Gets It podcast. I have So What Pays Me on Bid with two of my friends. And then I do 2 shows on here with Corey. She Gets Hardcore, and I do Loudmouth Stereo with Greg from Young Black and Bothered, right? And
Yes.
Greg and I did talk to the creators of this app in October, and they had something set up because they're always changing something where you had to do a certain amount of hours each week to go ahead and be considered a content creator on Stereo. I don't know what that is now, the rules for that, but that's what it was then. So that's how we got that. It's not because they're paying us $5,000 a month to do content on here, because we're not getting that. But the best thing about Stereo is you don't lose what you're talking about on here. You can take it with you. It's like you coming over to a friend's house to eat, have good vibes, and share discussions. And then before you leave, you get to take, a to-go plate or something. And the to-go plate is your MP3 of your recording. And you get to take that elsewhere and monetize it if you want to monetize it. You get to take that, download it, and have it sit on your computer, and you can listen back to it. You can share it. And thank them for giving me that opportunity. But even if Stereo wasn't here, I would still be recording, still giving content, still having shows with Greg. Probably would find Eruth somewhere else, probably like on IG.
Probably, yeah.
Eruth. So it's not nothing like super, super amazing that I was not doing before, and this is very new. It's just like how painters might paint and say, oh, I want to do this picture in canvas or something else. It's a different medium of the same thing I was doing before. That is it.
Yeah. And I would think so too, like, because I was thinking about this too. I was like, I wonder how much thought do people put into how do they get it? How do they get it? How do they get it? Like obsessing, because they're the people who make the app. They make the app. They have, just like any tech company. I work for a tech company, and every single day it's about how can we leverage the business? How can we figure out ways to use the product to do this, the products to do that, how can this person influence over here? I mean, that's just it's a whole thing. Like there is, to what Shan was saying earlier, like they have their, you can say agenda, and that word now just means like, these days you'd be like, yes, they have an agenda. But it's like, no, it's agenda, like, like a notebook that got goals on it and stuff.
Agenda. I woke up today and on my agenda was, Chantal, today we will have 1 bowl of banana pudding, not 2. Okay, and I made it just with 1 bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
With an agenda. If you don't wake up with an agenda, you are a bum.
Yes, and that's the thing people don't think about. Like you should have an order about your week, your life. Like you should have a goal pretty much every week. And the thing about the whole app thing is like they built the app. They have a goal. They know what they're looking for whatever reason. I remember I had, like 2 years ago, I had applied for this position and I was like second guessing myself. Like, man, I don't know why they want me here. Like, I don't know. And Kevin was like, but you're there. Like, so they wanted you to be there for whatever you were presenting about what you have the ability to do. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think that, I was kind of having a little friction with my peers, and we trying to go through ideas. And so I had to take a step back. And that lesson I learned, I had to sit down and learn. Like, listen, like that was like, okay, let me listen so I can learn from what their expertise was and get better. And that gave me more confidence because I had to bow a little bit. I had to take a step back out of my own self, my own ego, and really try to say, okay, every new experience that I'm having is a life lesson. There's something in this. And I think that that's something too, that even though we don't have to go into like down the rabbit hole and talk about like why everybody feel every way that they feel, but I do think it's important for people to realize like it's just living,
right?
It really is just living, and however people decide they want to live here. I mean, I think this app afforded people to do so many things. Like I remember talking to a guy that had cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm.
I learned so much.
Yeah,
I never knew that. So that's one of the things. And if that guy goes on to create content that helps people, like however they decided to see that in him, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I had. I'm off my soapbox.
It's just too many hours in the day to hate something or someone. I just don't have it.
It's too many.
You know what I'm saying? Being consistent gets you things, all right? Being
Yes.
will get you respect or disrespect because that comes with it too. And I never think that I know more when I step into anything. I don't want to feel like I know more. And there's always something to take away. But if you come to
Yeah.
every not looking for something to take away, then you're not
Yeah.
going to give in the first place. So just leave.
Yeah.
And
You got it, dude.
that's it.
And furthermore, with regard to the verified check, like I've definitely had conversations where I'm like, I don't think it's fair that YouTubers or people that just come in straight into the app just to get a cash cow out of this easily without having put in work. I don't think that's fair, right? Not because by virtue of them already being verified elsewhere, but just for the fact that they're not really here to be a part of the community. They're really here just to come in for 45 minutes and get their money. I know that's not who this conversation is targeted at, but I will just say, like, I'm calling myself out saying that I've definitely said that, and I still stand by what I said, where, like, I think they need to be in here actively for over 30 days in order for them to start making money off of it, just for it to be more equitable with regards to everybody else. But for those of you that have started from the bottom and you're working your way up, like, bravo to you, okay? For real, bravo. Imposter syndrome aside, you are deserving of it, and bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
What you said, I understand that because Greg and I had a conversation about it where
Yeah.
opened the door to YouTubers to come on here, but that goes back to their goal. What is Stereo's goal? Stereo's goal from the jump has been to come in, shake up social media, allow the people that use the app to be the marketing. They are not doing commercials. They are not running ads.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in here running their ads for them, which is smart because they do less work and they still get people to come to the app. When people download the app, they get money. The money that they get to pay people that are on the leaderboards is basically the money of the people. So they're, again, not doing too much. But the same thing is Stereo is looking at who can we connect to and who's going to bring the most people to this app. And it is going to be YouTubers because people just be on YouTube, just watching. Okay. And
To
kids
see
love
that.
YouTube. My kids love to watch kids on YouTube play with toys that they have in their rooms. Like that is what it is. But I was saying to Greg that it should be separate leaderboards for different content creators. It's leaderboard for people who
That's a good point.
it should be the leaderboard for people who are YouTubers. Like you should kind of award shows how you get different awards for different genres that you're in. It should be that for the leaderboard. But I am not the creator of Stereo. I do not know Stereo's goal. But one thing that's consistent with Stereo is they want to figure out how they can reach more people. And if more people get in reach as YouTubers, that's what they're going to do. But at the same time, we all have to think about why are we on this app? Am I on this app solely to make money and do big numbers just because I want to make money and do big numbers? No, I'm here to do more content, talk to more people, learn more things, and then take my content with me when I leave.
Yeah.
That is it. Now, if something else more comes with that, cool. But I'm not going to allow the goals of Stereo to disturb my peace.
Yeah. And it's something to that too, which is like, I think there's two things with I like what Music Nomad said about the whole that on the other side of it though, it's like there's people that are going through like the grassroots sort of process of it, right? Just meeting people, talking to people, engaging with people. And I think that is, I think we're kind of in a way like we kind of take for granted the fact that we have this. This is something very unique compared to where we've been and how we've had to communicate with people, because people misinterpret on a text, on a comment, all the time. It just Ooh, and it's happens on, it happens talking too, but at least you have more of an opportunity to be able to clarify. And I think that makes it attractive. At least for me, that's what made it attractive. Like, oh, okay, you could actually have conversations
That's why
here.
y'all have exes, because the way that y'all used to text, they took it one way and you didn't mean it like that. Now you have an app where it's kind of like a verbal Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You get to talk to people and hear their cadence in their voice and their tone and understand that, oh, this is what they meant. I was taking it like this if it was typed up. And the
Yeah.
fact that you can reach someone in London during a pandemic and I don't have to call them and I've never seen their face and they can just come on here and talk to me, that's cool. Whereas you
Yeah.
could go on Twitter and look at what someone wants to give off as who they are. We don't know that that's them. And they type something and you think that's the bee's knees. Like,
Yeah.
I want to talk to real people. When I call
Yeah.
customer service, I don't want to talk to somebody where I know that their name is not Samantha. I want to talk to who that is. Like, I really want to know their hi.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I'm so happy that you can help me today. This is what I need. And to have an app where I can actually talk to real people,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I appreciate it.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? I'm just tapping in to check y'all out, man. I'm gonna give you ladies a follow. Give me a follow back.
Thank you,
All
Zero.
right, Zero.
Zero.
Thank you.
Hey, hold on. I hear you talking about Atlanta. She gets it.
Yes.
Hey, I'm from Atlanta. This is my city, and
Okay.
I'm one of the many successful, entrepreneurial, hardworking African Americans here, and I love it.
You better go ahead with yourself. Talk about it. You need to go and tell us what your business is.
Yes, come through and tell us your business. You the reason we got traffic. You the reason why people keep moving here, huh?
Right. Look, don't know. That's the oldest rant I've heard. It's consistent. Y'all
Yeah.
goddamn people keep coming up in here.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
drive. You don't know what to do.
I heard Atlanta allow people to start new businesses and they make real money. Yep.
Yeah.
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 How you doing, sisters? Great
Right.
show, great topic.
What's up?
My perspective, to be honest with you, it's a little different. Maybe, it's just the way I grew up, or I guess, what I've heard from other family members. But like my own family, there's not, anybody who's broke or homeless or doesn't have a job, and that started a generation ago. It didn't just start now. That's a type of mentality that I always try to pass on to my friends and people that I know. But that's the biggest issue with us as black folk, is that we haven't taken this real serious, in the dire need. I'm not going to sit there and tell, rich athletes to spend their money, but they should automatically come together on their own. They play against each other every single time.
Right.
You know what I mean? They should be building this entire community, not just them, but also other successful black folks.
They should, but realistically, we can't tell them that they have to.
Yeah.
I was telling one of my friends yesterday, Nick, we worked together when I was in college. I said, if I was at a point in my life where I had 5 friends and I can take care of my kids, I can own my home, I can run my business smoothly, and I have the ability to have overhead money where I can do whatever I want with it, right? If I had 5 friends and we can each put in $20K into a business property and monthly make money off of that, I would do it.
Yeah.
I am not in that position to do so. But we know these celebrities or these people that make millions of dollars each year are in a position where they can do that. Look at LeBron James. Look at all basketball players over the decades and what they've done with their money.
Yes.
I feel like LeBron James has done the smartest things with his money as a basketball player compared to every other player. Michael Jordan included. And I know Michael Jordan does things in the back that I probably don't know about because his name is not blasted over it. But as far as like having a legacy, buying businesses, starting franchises, and starting schools, I feel like he has done the most efficient things with his money that is going to make a difference. And if he dies tomorrow, we'll see all the fruits of his labor, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell every basketball player to go do what LeBron did because that is
Right.
their choice.
Yeah. And
But
we
real,
don't necessarily and we don't necessarily know how much money, these folks are bringing. We don't know like who are they taking care of. Like I didn't realize that so many people, so many athletes were taking care of a large amount of family.
oh yeah,
So that's that's on, I guess, those families to get better. Like to your point, just in Georgia was 19 families that came together to save money to go buy a plot of land. They're trying to build a community.
I work with one of those guys that bought that land.
Wow.
I worked
That's
with him at
amazing.
my last tech job. I worked with him, and that was very smart. And I feel like yes, Black people who live in America, were born and raised in America, should go ahead and buy property.
Yes. Yeah.
They should. But are you realistically in a position right now to do that? Probably not. Will you
Right.
get there? That's up to your efforts and you being efficient with your money.
Yeah.
People who are at that status where they can do that, should they? Yes. Am I
Yeah.
going to tell them to? No, because that's a whole nother battle.
Yeah. And that goes back into the idea of patience too, right? Because for some, when somebody said you could buy and I've noticed, I saw this other day and I was like, that happened so fast, but it crossed my mind and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know what happened, but
yeah,
it just it just went from, it just was a change. And I was like, wow, that's, I've never seen that, but I'm still learning about social media. So I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, okay. But when I heard you say that, I'm like, okay, so that depends on that person's, whatever it is that their aim is. I don't know if I'm against a person who is more, I guess you could say, a little ambitious, differently ambitious than me, right? Just a little differently ambitious. Like for me, I feel like patience is important, right?
Yeah.
Like, because when you're patient, you can really think through what you're trying to do. You're not in a rush. Even if it takes you a couple months, at least you took your time to get it done. It's the way that you want to do it, and when it comes out, right? It is what it is. And I think that for the YouTubers, right, I think that's something too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I started everything on YouTube first, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get to IG because I can do this from my phone. Oh, there's a lot of things, but this YouTube thing is
it is time consuming.
Steps, okay?
You have to love it to do it, to be consistent, to love it. And
yes.
I was like, you know what? How much time is it going to give me to do the setup? How much time is it going to do to do the edit? How much time is it to do the upload? How many people actually looked at this shit? Oh, no.
Yes, but also, right, those people who do that, because look, I'm comparing myself to this platform that I'm going about doing all my stuff is these two platforms because it's easier for me. It's just right. That's we're gonna try to be smarter, for us, or not say, I shouldn't say smarter because it's just our it's just our way. It's the YouTubers that might be technical, they might like to do the steps, they might love, that might just be their passion, a way that they like to just go through that process. And so I do think that if you put in that much work and you do grow a following, and you can continue to go to a platform that's going to continue to keep moving and creating more different kinds of content. I think it's smart. I think that people have to be able to do things, kind of navigate the way that they want to do it. It's not my way of doing it because I just feel like, for me, once I get into like instant gratification, I know I'm starting to make mistakes because I'm starting to please people too much. And then I'm failing, right? So I just like, you know what, girl, you just wait, or whatever it is, or whatever. And I think that is, I have to talk to myself and tell myself this, like, girl, just just wait. And I think we don't know how long it took everybody to get to a certain place of their platform. Now knowing that people can buy it, I don't know if I have really an opinion about it, really, because I don't know. I just don't know what people's needs are. Somebody wants to move quickly, that they're gonna do it. They're gonna find a way. And if the platform lets them do it, I think that's what the platform lets them do. But I think that there's something to it for just being authentic and being patient and being consistent. That's the seriousness of actually looking at what's in front of us and saying, okay, I'm going to make this work for me. I'm going to leverage it in a way that works for me. Because otherwise, why would you be doing it at all anyway? What's the purpose? Right. And that's another thing too, like questioning people's, like, why do you care so much? Why are you always doing? why does that matter? Right? Like the person is making a choice in their life to move to push themselves ahead, however they want to do that. As long as you're not stealing.
Mm-hmm.
But you could look at it and be like, well, that's kind of stealing because it's not authentic. But I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, and people will make a way. And I used to criticize people for doing that a lot, but at the same time, if I spend time thinking about it, I'm losing time thinking about the things I need to do for myself.
Boom. So this is my thing, and I've told my exes this. I've told friends who are creators this. Once you make something fantastic and great, and you share it with the world, it is no longer yours. Now, legally, depending on how you set your ducks up, you can always take back some pieces of ownership. But once you share something, you release ideas, you release energy, you help someone connect their dots to whatever else they're on, right? From whatever you release. Your goal after you released it is now, how can I be better than that shit I did yesterday?
Yes.
If that is not your goal,
yes,
then don't do anything progressive, because that is it. A lot of people do one great thing in life. We call them the one-hit wonders, right, of music.
Mm-hmm.
That song gets played in shows. That song gets played on commercials. That song gets downloads years later, decades later, right? And they live off of it. They never make a song again. They never do another album. And we always wonder about them. They are doing great because they made something timeless. But sometimes everything that you do cannot be timeless. And a lot of people once did something great, and then they're so scared and they're so in fear of their abilities to top their greatest shit that they don't try anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for yourself. Do you have the ability to do something great and then still try to outdo yourself?
Yes. And let me tell y'all, I remember when, Shan, you remember when I first started posting?
Yes.
Okay, let me say, I did not know the seconds was before or after. I just knew like, oh, I want to post that. That's good. I like that. Right.
Yeah.
And then I go and I listen to it. I'm like, Eruth, the show was just starting. You didn't even get the content on it. But I love that she was like, I love that you supported me. Like when you liked it, I was like, I love that you supported me trying to do like to be a part of it, and like just trying to like because that now I understood like that part of you share because you want people to know like that this is a point of view that you have too. And these are the people that are saying it. Like, go look. Like, come see what we're doing over here. Like, this is fun. Like, come call. And you want people to enjoy that too. That's what that's what you're sharing it. But I remember the girl jacking up. There's so many times something I posted they didn't make a typo error. I was like, you know what? Listen, they're gonna have to just take it for what it is. I'll make another. I'll go back and edit it later. But I got to get it out, and I'll keep learning, and I'll fuck up a little bit. But that's what it's my fuck up.
As long as you're open to keep learning, you'll be fine. Yeah. It's the people who talk the most shit that don't do shit, that say they don't want to learn. They know what they do. Oh, the IG is not for me. Oh, Twitter is not for me. But I'm just really frustrated and I want to get into this clubhouse and talk about why my business is not doing numbers. Because you are focused on the TV with the antenna when we are now getting wireless service to our smart TVs.
Yes.
Get on board or get the fuck off. That is what it is. You cannot say, I want my business to grow. I want to be better in life. And you are super resistant to the times. You have to kind of flow with the times, even though you don't want to do everything everybody is on, but find your avenue going with the times.
The people that say, fire. Fire, go burn, lit it. Fire.
Make it make sense.
Yes.
Like, our parents probably thought, have a job, it makes this money, I want to take care of myself, I want to take care of my family, and I'm fine with doing this for the rest of my life and dying. And then if I can do something after I get off of work, I'm gonna go do that thing. And as long as I'm taking care of my family, that is the way I show my love. And then you had a generation where our parents didn't feel as much love from their parents and they weren't close because the way that their parents showed love is by working so fucking much, right?
Yes.
We are the generation that has the technology to
Yes.
be at home, be in our drawers, eat what we want to eat, and make thousands of dollars a day without leaving the house.
Yes.
You can learn how to do that for yourself if you want to. But
Yeah.
people make choices every day to not learn anything new, not try anything different, and not have their money work from them in an efficient way where I don't have to have three jobs, but realistically, I have three ways of income that's bringing income into my household.
Yeah. Yes. Because it's there. And this is one of the reasons, like, when we're having our talks, right, we're always trying to get to a solution, right? We can talk about the problem all day, but we also want to get to, okay, like, well, now what do we do next?
Yeah.
And we're in, like, to your point, like, we're already in a time where there are next steps. Sometimes the next steps are not even created. We make the next steps, and it ain't gonna be right sometimes, but at least, it's the trying. And that is something that it takes a lot of, like, okay, it takes a lot of patience, like, to finally say to yourself, like, okay, you know what, this is not going to be something that happens tomorrow. This is something that is going to take time, because I'm going to be learning so much. There's so much information to make sense out of things, because there's so much disinformation that you'd be like, oh Lord, okay, let me go. I got to go back to the ground. Let me go get the dictionary and the encyclopedia. I got to go to the library and really, like, you really got to dig into
People
these
don't even
things.
know what a library is.
We need to know what a library is. We need to start the day with.
You can learn from people who are not verified, probably more than
Yes.
people who are verified, because the people who are verified say stupid shit and need to learn too.
Yes. And that's why they don't matter. That's why the check don't matter. Oh, we gonna play our messages.
Yes, I'm gonna play.
And most importantly, we can definitely stop building our own schools, so we don't have to put up with the BS that schools always do give to black children. We can stop building our own hospitals.
Yes.
Yeah, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but it will be done.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We can start getting our own groups in Congress, in the mayorship, in the governorship.
Yes.
And stop splitting this BS about Democrat. Hell, I agree we should have our own goddamn black party. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but that's what it really takes. And we don't have any leadership right now. We just simply don't. And I'm not saying the reverend that you have in your neighborhood, or, a teacher you look up. No, I'm talking about leadership. We just don't have it.
Yeah.
And white folks, Spanish folks, and every other folks know that. And that's why they'll always do whatever it takes to take advantage of us. It's that simple. And this is the reason why we are where we are today.
Agreed.
I mean, I love the point for the fact that we're talking about this struggle of progress, of accepting progress when it's not our own. Like, that's essentially what the conversation is really, like, us really trying to get through, like, this. We don't have to be crabs in a barrel.
No.
Right. And it is true. Like, everybody has a little bit of tinge of, like, competition, like a little jealousy, like there's a little competition, like that's just a natural thing to do, but you don't stay on it. You just like, oh, all right, let me get on my shit. That's nice. I like this or whatever. You just know how to turn that switch off after learning, like, it is a switch. You can move beyond it. And to his point, I love what he said about the community. It's a struggle, because the whole situations are coming from, people in our communities that we're all supposed to be having this same exact goal, which is to push each other to have our own. We're not going to solve the problem only by voting, but to his point, saving money, buying like, if you can do it, yes, do it. If you can't, work towards it if you want to do it. Have the conversations, try to learn what it is too. So I love that. I love what he said.
Yes.
Will both of you help me kill 35 small children? I'm going to go do it tomorrow.
What the? You know what? The switch. Which one?
Okay, we not with that.
I'll show your game.
Gosh.
For the question of can you buy followers, Eruth? You can buy followers on almost every social media. You can cheat.
Oh my gosh.
Right? But Spotify is hip. Certain platforms are hip, and if they know that you've done that, you can get banned, and you don't want to do that.
Please check out She Gets It shop on Teespring. The website is in the description for the show. All right. I got merch on there for the show for those who would like to wear their support or show their support that way. You can support the She Gets It show and podcast and merch on that website. And if you can't get the website, just remember www.whoisshan.com, and you can support me on other shows too and other places to shop for merch. Let's get back to the show.
And I know you wouldn't do that, but just word of the wise for everybody out there, it's just so easy to tell when people do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers just don't add up, and it looks weird, and the company will find out eventually and ban you.
They're like, I have 10K followers, and then you go through their pictures, it's 13 pictures, and only 2 people have looked at it.
I've seen 0. I've seen nothing posted, and I've seen like a bunch of followers. But you know what? I kind of just like, that's funny. And I don't know. I just kind of like, I don't care if they do it, because people will pay attention to what's working and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. People will be like, how did you even, what the hell is this? And then they'll start like blocking, like it'll be natural for people to just say like, this is foolishness. I don't want to see this. The algorithms will make sense of that and all those things. So I feel like, I think at some point that short-term gain, that short-term, that need for instant gratification, for validation, for whatever choices that's being made when they're, for the reason they're making those choices, I think that it'll flatten out. So it hits me for a second, and then I kind of just like, you know what? Okay. But it is interesting to learn when y'all tell me shit. I was like, that's what's happening there. That's some, you can do that shit. This people are creative as fuck.
Forget that this world welcomes dumb behavior.
Yeah.
Or verification. Hello, Gorilla Glue Woman.
Oh,
okay.
Why?
Hello. Okay. And so many people after her have done the same thing.
Girl, the lip with the cut. I'm just, you don't love yourself. You can't love yourself, not even a little tiny bit.
Oh.
But there's got to be a better way.
Yes.
Totally agree. The check mark doesn't make anyone better than anyone. But it is funny how a lot of people have now turned that into a goal in life, especially younger people, because of the money involved, because of the fame involved, the following involved in it. A lot of people are becoming narcissists because of the ideology that check mark or how many followers you have really defines who you are as a person and defines what your life's about. It's pretty sad that we kind of went down this path, and it's kind of like it's a bittersweet situation, because these things help us reach out to each other, help us promote ourselves, help businesses grow. But there's also a dark side to it, which is people thinking that matters.
Yes, that is a fact.
Agreed.
Oh shit, Sean! Just noticed you had a Jamaican flag in your bio.
Yes!
Wagwan, sis, you good?
Too.
Yeah, man. We're both. Are we first generation Jamaicans?
I think so.
Would they let us claim it? My family, they'd be like, girl, sit down somewhere.
Listen,
sit down.
They call me,
sit down.
Yankee. Yeah, Yankee.
Yes, yeah, Yankee. Yep. All the time. Like, why can't y'all just let me be a part of this?
Right.
Can I get one man in? Wappen. Can I get one wappen in? My dad be like, go sit down. Yeah, sit down. Move yourself.
Greetings, ladies. She Gets It Pod and Eruth. I just want to give my perspective and my opinion. Sometimes there are certain avatars that make negative comments on a topic that is very vague, and they could touch on a point on their perspective in a negative way. I found that some people do have a slower download than others, so they could only project themselves in the way that they know. So I tend to see that people that are on a higher thinking level will look at them in a way and not be understandable. But I think that we can all, learn from each other. It doesn't matter if they're coming from an ignorant disposition, but them being there, they're receiving that.
Agreed. I do.
That's true. That's true. Like, I'm sure if you name the show, hey, when you comment, teach me something that I don't know. Everybody would have something interesting to say.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell me,
and that's the point.
Unique that you can do that I possibly cannot do.
Yes. And there's so much people on here that are unique. I think that's what's so attractive. That was what was attractive to me. I was like, ooh, different. Ooh. Yeah. I'm learning, listen and learn with you. You know, like it's such an it's just exciting to hear people being themselves. But it's also kind of exciting to see people who are going through it too. You know, so like even for me, like even in those experiences, like I'm not angry or like frustrated, but I always go out and look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, okay, is there something for me to learn in this? It's something about me. You know, I try to do that first. But then I also go to like, oh, I remember when I said something like this to somebody, or I remember when I said that and I rubbed somebody the wrong. I remember being that person. And so then I have a little bit of empathy, like, you know what, we on different pathways, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, wherever we are, like I could not stand people who would like, I remember being upset with a lot of my friends who I felt like were not being the way that I wanted them to be with me.
Yeah.
And I would be so mad, like, why would you? And I don't know, like, they was doing some janky stuff though. Like I did tell them, I was like, you know what? After we get into our fight, we're gonna come back around. We're gonna talk about this because you know I was pregnant when he was about to fight me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of my friends, we've gotten to getting into it, and I'm like, you know, this that was wild. So y'all do know we was tripping, and everybody was like, yeah, we was all tripping. And it got crazy, you know. We apologize, but that's, you know, that is kind of the nature of talking to people. Even if you're talking to somebody, a stranger, like I feel like even if you're in a store and you're talking to somebody, like just that little bit of courtesy to just give somebody just a little wiggle room to be able to be whoever it is that they're coming to you with, because you don't know.
Let me tell you, I mean? I lived in New York for 6 years. I purposely talk to strangers because you wake up every day in New York with millions of people around you, and you have the ability to try something different every day until you find different layers of yourself. So once you come out the box and talk to a complete stranger and not know what you could possibly learn or who they could possibly be or where you would possibly meet them later on in life.
Yes. And time, people don't realize time is therefore is there.
Next.
Do you really believe that America is the greatest nation in the world? Because I really don't believe so. I think it is a big shithole of a country.
Shit.
I never shithole. I'm not into the anus play, so I can't tell. It is not the greatest. It is not the greatest. You know, when you have Black women, I'm classified as a Black woman in America, who die more from childbirth in America, and you have third world countries where they survive. There's a problem. So we cannot be the greatest.
Yeah. No, not what we've been seeing as of late. The foolishness that's going on right now don't make how you in the one state that's like, you know, fuck y'all, the government. I don't need the federal government for nothing. Catastrophes, we'll handle it. We're Texas.
Listen,
you can't get the help that the people pay when they pay the federal taxes. Stop doing this. Anyway, I can't even go down that rabbit hole.
What do you call a black priest?
We're doing this
today.
Hey ladies, I just dropped in on your live. I just wanted to say that I am enjoying your talk, and I've definitely learned something also about the verification on this app and stuff like that, and how it really isn't important. But thank you so much. I'm having a good time. I gotta head out, but ladies, have a great evening. And be safe.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And chiming in.
Yes.
Demi, listen.
I'm sorry to the last guy, but his argument is just stupid. I mean,
positivity.
I mean, the topic, can we try a little bit to stay on it?
I appreciate, guys, what you're talking about, but I really want to hear about the people who judge about other people while they don't really know who they are. as long as like when they see other people who they are quiet and different, so they just judge that they are close-minded. Like, what do you say about these people who judge other people?
People judge other people to get a rise, a possible rise, or the more negative I get, the more attention I get. And that's the reality of today. The more negative you are, the more attention you get. If you post something very positive, you're going to get 2 people that see it and possibly like it. Where 45 people looked at this but didn't say anything. But if you post something negative, it's going to be in the thousands. If you baked cake for your child and you didn't have enough money to buy anything else, and then you went to take it to the table and it fell, it's going to have over 1 million views. Because people crave to watch and see and witness other people's demise. And that's the world that we live in. And so you'll always have people who are judging people who they feel like they can pick on, who they feel like will not defend themselves, who they feel like are not important. And the thing is to understand your stance.
And I think that some of it is projection though too. Like I feel like sometimes it's like people are putting their own faults, their own insecurity, the things that they want to correct about themselves on other people. And I say that as a person that used to do this, right? Be real mad, like, why aren't you living up to this expectation I have of you that I have for myself, but I didn't do for the last 5 days. So I guess I got to shut my mouth and go in the corner and go deal with this.
Some of our parents did it. I want you to go for nursing because I didn't go to school for nursing. Well, I don't want to be a nurse.
Exactly. And that's a problem too. Is that like this whole this people wanting everybody to be in the same box, in the same like square. Like we don't have to be. We're not. So we aren't. We are very. All of us are very different while also being the same. And to be able to appreciate that, I think it takes being able to know yourself better. Like, okay, I'm a hypocrite too. I messed up a little bit yesterday. Not to beat ourselves over the head to the point where it's like you're just being somebody else, but enough to be able to say, okay, like I'm going to move differently tomorrow because I learned something today or yesterday. And I think that's the part of it that I think the app can do, check mark or not, depending on who's having that conversation. And I think that's why it doesn't matter, because it's just about the content. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter, right? Because we obviously know there's some benefits with that. But I think it also doesn't matter to the point where some people are just on here just having like, just conversation. They just want to have conversation. And I think that that's just as fine, and then if that person starts to take it seriously and they're like, you know what, I think I could do something more with this. Okay, that's good. You allow yourself to go on the journey, and then you found where you found yourself to a certain destination. That's good too. And I think sometimes we don't look at people's lives in that way. We look at everything as like right in front of us, and everything has an explanation already. Like whatever my preconceived notions are, whatever I have, whatever my problems are, must be like yours because whatever, for whatever the reasons are. And like that shit, I want us to get the hell up out of there. Okay.
Get up. I mean, this world is addicted to status and what shit looks like. And I try my best not to get caught up in that.
Yeah. You have to. It's every day. I mean, it is an active thing that we have to do. Right. Because people, it's so easy to get sucked into anything. And anything could be something real small, something real big. It could be anything. So that's what you got to teach the kids, like what consequences.
Yes.
Consequences. All right.
No. Can you slow down a little bit? I'm trying to learn from you and listen to you, but you're talking too fast. Just slow it down a little bit. Thank you.
Slow down. Okay.
Know who or what or okay.
Hi, ladies. I actually just followed both of you. I hope I get a follow back. I absolutely love stereo. I think it's so innovative, and I've always wanted to do my own podcast. This makes it easy, and it makes it super easy to connect with great people. You can have a bunch of different segments talking about a bunch of different things. And I've also told this other people about the Stereo app. And it's funny how people will sleep on things. They just like to talk about doing something, but when you offer them something to help them, then they just become a little bit less interested. So I'm just going to keep it moving and connect with people on here because obviously the people on here are actually doers, and I connect well with doers.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, I love that. Dude, that you sold me on the doers, girl. I will say this. I'm just saying this because everybody should, I just like to be transparent. I typically do, when people are like, okay, I stay with me for a moment. I promise you, this is not an attack. This is not, I feel like Kevin tells me don't do all that. He's like, Eruth, just say it. I'm like, I know, but I learned, and then I went back because I still feel like there is such this misinterpretation. And if I can be like proactive about it, I think that's what that is. It's not so much that I'm like trying to make everybody feel good in that way, but just make it try to be as clear as possible. So my thing too, like I feel like when somebody, like when people say, "Oh, follow me," make sure you follow me back, right? Like to me, because I'm such a rebel, I'm like, no, can't tell me what to do. I'm not gonna just do it because you tell me to do it. No. Like that's just me. I'm just a rebel. If my dad's like, Eruth, go and make sure you do this thing tomorrow. I'm like, Dad, okay, but can't like look at it this way, right? So the reason why I'm not telling you no yet, but like, because I'm just like, wait a minute, I gotta think about this. I need to process it. It needs to make sense to me. It needs to like, whatever. So for me, I'm a kind of like I don't say like an energy person, but I would say like, I don't know how to explain what I'm explaining, but I am saying this though. You did sell me on the point that you said, which was you are a doer. And that I respect because I want to be in a circle of people who do, because it motivates me to do, and I can ask questions and I can learn and I can support. And that feels really good for me to do that because I know that we're building each other. Like the little tiny bit of support. It's a little tiny, it's not, we maybe not be able to like throw dollars at each other and stuff like that. But it's just the genuine support that I love. Yeah. And so that's where that comes from for me. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like one person one way or the other, or anybody does, that we're disliking each other. I think we're all just different, trying to figure things out. But when somebody's like, "You do this," I'm like, I think about it for a minute, like, hold on a minute. I don't want to do it. What if I don't want to do it though?
When somebody follows me, cool. But when I see what you have to talk about, when I see what you bring to the table, then automatically that follow will come. I don't need you to tell me what I got to do, because I'm purposely not going to do it because you told me. And it's not because I'm mad or I don't like you. It's because I don't like people telling me what I have to do. You can lay out my options.
Right.
But don't tell me what I need to do. That goes for my mother. That goes for my father. That goes for my brother. That goes for the people I was in relationships with. And when people get to know you, then they get to know how to approach you to get the outcomes that they possibly want. But,
Yeah. You on it. You was on it. You on it. Mm-hmm.
Hi. So I'm not sure what I walked in on prior to swiping on this podcast, but Eruth, I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, and forgive me if I'm not, but I just read your profile and it says Looking Glass. Where I'm from, we have a Looking Glass Writers Conference, and I was just wondering if you had anything to do with that. Again, I apologize if I'm totally off topic, but I just really want to know because it's a great writers conference and I'm a writer, so yeah.
No, but I am a writer too. And the reason why I love the name, The Looking Glass, because I love Alice in Wonderland. Every time she sings this song about her and the song that she's so sad about, like, I'm a mess. It's me all the time. Oh, Alice, you just don't listen. Alice, you just take a little bite. They said a little. You didn't take a little. Like, that's literally, I always go down the rabbit hole, and I'm always thinking about different things. So it does kind of make sense that there's a writing conference that's named that way, because it takes, you got to keep thinking and thinking and writing. So, but no, I'm not. So I'm sorry, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might make you better. Maybe only about 8 to max 15% better than anyone else. But I mean, Eruth is better than me for a lot of reasons. But there's 8% of that is the check mark by your name.
Thank you, Mexoplexo. But Mexoplex, sorry, I always mess with So one day I was like, I read your, I've been reading this wrong this whole time. I don't really believe in the better thing. I don't. I just feel like everybody's just different, and we just bring different, have different, like we bring different things. Honestly, just being 100%, my idea is that there's something that's brewing that I don't know what it is between some of the folks that we rub shoulders with in on this app. When I say brewing, I mean like on a large scale, like a purposeful thing, spiritual kind of thing. Like there's a reason I believe like we don't just connect with each other for any kind of reason, even if we rub each shoulders with each other and it's a bad experience. You know what I mean? It's still something that can come out of it. So I feel like we're all lending each other something. That's, I mean, we all sort of kind of run in certain, I don't like saying circles, but we like listening to and talking to certain people on the app or even outside in different kind of other social media platforms. And so I caution that people walk away, even when people say, oh, I don't even like being shot. I'm being honest with you. It makes me very uncomfortable because I just feel like we all have something to offer and we all should recognize each other's stuff that we offer. So, and that sounds like hypocritical because I was like just saying like we should, I can't take it, but then we should take it. But you see the struggle. You see the struggle.
Yeah, baby. Joe. Come on, Joe.
Life is a beautiful butterfly.
Sir.
I really want to make a comment, but you two have check marks and you're just better quality people. And I don't deserve. I'm just kidding. But I'm enjoying your talk, and I'm glad that the check mark has not ungrounded you. I can't think of a better word. Maybe if I get a check mark, I'll get a better vocabulary. But listening in.
You see how easy for me to get a follow from me because he has a sense of humor?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to act, just show up, you know?
Yes.
I love it.
Somebody told me having a check mark does make you a little bit better than other people. So, I mean, I think I might want one.
You want one, get one.
Yeah. Everybody got their reasons. As I say, everybody got their reasons. It's,
Yeah. Maybe I just want a Lamborghini so I can smell the leather.
Girl, I want a better house. This check mark better give me a better house. Like, I don't, to me, honestly, it's whatever way you're moving, right? If you're moving to have a purpose, that's kind of the sentence. It's like, that's it. I mean, it's an incomplete sentence, but if you're moving to have a purpose, right? And that's what I feel like all this is. If the purpose is just to have it, I mean, like Chan said, you have at it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think everybody misperception of what everybody's reasons for what they're doing with it or why or what have you. I think there's too much thinking that goes into that, right? If you apply and you're like, oh, let me just, in my case, I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply and I don't know exactly what I need to do, but I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. And that's what I was going to do. And that's,
a lot of rooms on Clubhouse in the mornings and at night are, you got a podcast, and the people's question is like, how do I get my numbers up? I have a podcast. I do guests. I have guests that are like really popular, and I have 20 episodes, but I just need more people to listen to my show. How do I get my podcast up? All right, what are you doing with your podcast? Do you let people know? How do you let people know? Well, I just, put it out and, they can find it. They can search it. How do they know that they can?
Oh, no.
Do you post links? No. Do you use Instagram? I'm thinking about making one. It's kind of like if you are doing the work to put your things in people's faces, then that's when you're going to see the outcome of your efforts. But if you're not doing the work, don't come to me with a question about why you're not seeing the results that you want, because you are not doing the work. Making a podcast show is like 15% of the 100% of having a great podcast and then actually doing something great of whatever your goal is. I don't feel like you being on like top 100 of Apple Podcasts means that you have a great podcast, because I've listened to a lot of those podcasts and they are shitty and boring. But they have reached a audience who will leave a review. They have reached an audience who will download an episode. Do they listen all the way through? I don't know, because I'm not that audience. But I do check out those shows just to see what are they doing that is different from what I'm doing. But that doesn't content better than somebody who is not on that list. And that's what we have to understand. Just because you verify does not mean that you have more to offer to bring to the table than I do as far as like what I'm doing.
Right.
And there's so many people who are undiscovered. The only difference between possibility and impossible is it hasn't been done yet. At some time, a light bulb that gave out light so people could see was impossible. At some time, having a vehicle machine drive you from point A to point B was impossible. Why would you do that? We have horses and wagons. Like, you have to be the person that's like, you know what? I see that a million people are on this, but I am the one focus on this so I can make it something possible. So just focus on your thing.
Yeah. Yep. Because I mean, I think that, think about it this way. There's people at work, right, who will be like, I was in this conference with, I think it was yesterday, and the question came up. Somebody was like, you know, we keep applying for all these other positions. I feel like I have the skill, the talent. I worked in this department, and this department, and this department. And I feel like, you know, I basically, like, or the way that he expressed it was like, he's entitled. Like, I've been here for this long, so I should be in the position that I want to be in because I've been here this long. Yeah. And I love the response that the speaker gave back. And she said, you know, well, that's an opportunity for you, right? Is that if you're applying for different positions and you're not getting far or ahead the way that you want to, that's when you have to take a step back and start having realistic conversation with yourself about what are your barriers? Is the barrier something that you are putting in front of you? Or is the barrier something that is like uncontrollable? And if it's uncontrollable, basically, like, how do you find your way around that? Because there's always a way to find your way around something. And if you're not willing to do the work to do that, then you can't have this like entitled expectation for why you should be or shouldn't be, or, you know, why things, you know, you should be, you've been here long enough, now you should have this job. And I love that she said it so honestly, because that is a problem too, is that people are not always living in reality. Even the people who are creators at some point are not living in reality, because at some point you get there's self-doubt. You're telling yourself, you know, maybe I wait, give me, you know, maybe all these other things are going on, so I can't do this and that. And then you realize, like, I've been laying in the bed, just sitting here, pitying myself for a whole week now. I could have done like 25 things by now. Yeah. And then that's the fingers pointing back at us too. So, you know, I just love that just being able to see it in that way, just to call reality to it. I think that can help a lot of people, but everybody's not ready to. I heard somebody say this earlier in one of Mrs. Smitty and Exo Vinny Blanco's talk, and they had a really great talk about it was intention versus perception. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was kind of like, this is kind of like the theme of like, we're all kind of talking, but, you know, so sort of similar on different perspectives on like the importance of, you know, how we take people for who they are versus, you know, setting these expectations and then people failing them. And then you're like, wait a minute, you know, it's you versus like, well, it's you and me, or maybe it's just me. And I love the fact that they were talking about like how some people do have all these different expectations. Sometimes it's you're growing too, so you're trying to figure some things out. Like, there's just so many different variables about how we're communicating with each other. And we have a short fuse. We have like a short fuse, and we have a short memory. So in the moment, you like, you know, you feel some kind of way, you hear something a certain kind of way, or you get to a place where you're like, you know what, forget about it. I just give up. I don't want to be bothered with this. I don't want, it's these people are making me feel this way, or I feel this way because of whatever the reason is. And what you said earlier is the because, right? A lot of people don't get to that because X, Y, and Z. And these conversations that we're really having them because the goal is for us to hopefully help people too, as we're helping ourselves.
Right.
There's something to that, right? It's like the purpose in it is like, okay, how can I help people heal while I'm healing, or I healed, so now I'm going to help somebody else, and I'm talking about it. Like that's just where I think the seriousness that people do have with it, and then the people who don't, who are like, okay, I want to still be able to attain what this other person's doing, but not necessarily even understand why they're doing it. And that's like the reality check. And everybody got to have a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's it. Eruth said it. Okay, Eruth said it.
Sorry. So Looking Glass Writers Conference is actually based off of a waterfall of Pisgah National Forest that's found in North Carolina. And I'm currently a college student here, and one of my professors is like the operator of it. And currently I'm an editor-in-chief of our literary journal here. So, I edit and manage and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, since you're a writer, I really recommend you check it out. Because, I love telling other writers, this is cool. Or this ain't so cool, Yes. But thank you so much for answering my question. Y'all are great. I'm really loving your conversation.
Thank you.
See, I learned something today.
Yes. That's why this app is so awesome.
Hello. Be the example.
Say that for the people in the back.
Be the example.
She gets it.
On my bucket list, I am going to go witness a real opera one day. And everybody that I ask who have gone, they say, you want to go to that, it's really boring. I feel like
I want to go.
I love it.
If you go, just tell me about it, because I want to go. I want to go see ballet shows. I want to see spectacular shit this year.
Yeah. I saw the people in New York as a play. Amazing.
Oh,
amazing.
I can't. You think they're gonna start doing like outside shows?
They need.
I mean, like that. They do.
Maybe inside out.
I hope maybe after what they say after the summer.
I hope
about taking it, girl. I know. I'm thinking about it. My mother-in-law's on the list. She about to go. So however she deal with it, I'm gonna pray, Lord, please, Lord. We're gonna have a prayer circle every day.
I don't understand why people want so many followers. I mean, don't you want people who actually care about what you have to say?
Yes.
I mean, I know for sure, I'm very, very, very new to this app. I think I've had it for 2 days total now. And I'm here just to connect with people. We are in a world right now where it's so difficult to connect to people because of the pandemic, but also just culture in general. Prior to the pandemic, it was still even hard to connect to people. And so, fuck followers, excuse me if I curse, but I want to connect with people.
Yes.
And yeah, it's nice when you have a lot of people who maybe share your same opinion, but it's not about the numbers. It's about connection.
Yes. 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 All day, every day. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
When you see my name, it says, come and talk to me. Okay.
I really wanna meet you.
Yes.
I will not lie. I'm a little bit more reserved. It takes me a minute.
Yeah.
It does. It really takes me a minute to watch and just make sure, because I never something ignites and I'm okay, I'm good. And then it's like, oh wait, I'm still waiting. I want to be careful. I want to make sure I'm understanding. And I'm a lot slower sometimes. And then I shouldn't say sometimes. I should say I'm still slow. It still takes me some time.
It's smart to be slow.
Yeah.
To go, because people reveal what they want to reveal sometimes, and you don't know what they are all about, and you don't want to be like, oh, I love that person, I support that person, and you realize that person said 10 negative things and you are the only person that's following them. So do you think these 10 negative also, so you do have to trickle lightly,
Yeah,
but that's
girl.
like you observe people from afar, you take your time, and you get to know people. But today, and this follow, this person is following this person, so you must know this person, so go ahead and add them too.
Yeah,
Breaks,
yeah,
pump your brakes. I do not know this person, Sam I am. I do not want
yes,
them back it on up. And it's okay to say that,
yes.
you
Mm,
know?
mm. My
Back that thing
feelings, girl. Mm.
like Juby.
Girl,
Back
you
it up.
look good with your back. The thing. Let me tell
I
you, when that song came
apologize
out.
if you ladies
Sorry.
were offended because I
Oh no.
asked you to follow me. I'm kind of old
Oh,
school. Back in the day,
You're
we
not
went to
offended.
networking events and we exchanged business cards. So
Yeah.
when I asked you to follow me, it was kind of along the same premise, was just kind of see what the others, the other person has to offer, listen to some of my recordings, pop in on some of my cast, and I'll do the same. And just like you can follow somebody, you can unfollow them too if they're not for you. But I just liked you guys' vibe, and I'm pretty confident that you'll like mine as well. So just trying to have some good people in my tribe. That's all.
yes,
Okay, ladies, thank you.
We are with
yes, yeah. Go
we
ahead.
are with
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
I said we are with it.
Yes, yeah, we are not offended, but we do like to keep it 100. And like if it's important to talk about it, because somebody's thinking about it, right? Somebody's like, well, then I'm like, I know I'm thinking about it, so let me just talk about it. At the same time, I love that we all love what you have to say. I mean, I love what you have to say. So you made your point, and then even then, just now, you were just like, you know what? You might be interested in what I'm doing. I'm interested in what a lot of people are doing because, like I
Yeah.
said, I feel like there's some things going on in the universe and things are just making sense somehow. I don't know what that means all the way, but I do trust it. I do trust it. So, yeah.
What Jill Scott said, you got me.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know
Why they be
what?
hating on her? Why is all the hate going on with Jill? What's going on with Jill? Why people don't? She's amazing.
Have you listened to her podcast?
No, I didn't know she had a podcast.
Yes, now. Yes. Yes. She has a podcast now.
I love her. I love how honest she is. I love how she don't be like, you know what? Listen, what can I do? She said something about like all the stuff that she had gone through. And she was like, nobody knows this stuff, but people just assume. And I was like, yes, ma'am. It's hard out here in the streets. She be speaking. What is it? What is it called? Where is it at?
Don't let me lie to you. Just put in Jill Scott podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't
do.
like lying to people. I live in my
You so do.
Yeah.
Perception versus intention. That is definitely something that is such a concept to people now that is so hard to really understand. The difference between perception and intention. Of course, with intention, it's what you have for yourself, like going into a situation. What am I going to get out of this? Or what am I wanting to get out of this? And perception is how you see something. And people kind of get those two mixed together, but they're completely two different things. And if people truly understood what intention versus perception is, then maybe there would be a little bit less conflict with certain people, but maybe I'm getting a little bit off track. I've had a little bit of 3 shots, so getting a little tipsy here.
Shots, everybody. Okay.
No, you
no, yeah, you on point.
You know what I'm saying? I got a window seat. I see you.
All day.
All right, it is 10:27 Eastern time.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
It's Thursday, not Friday. I wish it was Friday because I'd be on this thing. But since I gotta come to my desk with my bra and my drawers to my we are going to wrap up the show.
Yes.
So
I didn't even realize we went by this fast, girl.
Because it was a good conversation. If you want to leave a comment or drop in, say your hellos. We appreciate you. Anybody that stayed from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Please follow us on other social media like IG, She Gets It Pod, and IG for Eruth's Looking Glass. Okay. Yes, it is Looking Glass on there also. All right. So check us out. We are on this app frequently, and now since Stereo updated, it tells you the people that you follow if they are on the app currently while they are on the app or if they were just on the app. So I do like that update.
Ooh.
You can check us out. If you follow us, you would get the update for our shows. I am on here with Greg and Corey most of the time, but sometimes I am on here browsing through it while I'm doing work and edits, listening to Kev and Eruth on here talking about different topics that are smart, that are provoking, that need to be discussed. So please check us out. Again, leave your comments. We're going to go through them.
Yes.
Up if you enjoyed this show, because we enjoyed you.
Yes.
And if you didn't learn anything today, play it tomorrow. Let me get off of here. Like, you have to learn something, because I don't want you to come on here and waste a minute listening to something we said and not take something.
Yes. And we open about it. Like, if you have questions, if you don't like it, we're not gonna be like, you can't say. Now we gonna respond.
Yeah.
But we in it together. Like, we want to be able to hear what everybody has to say. So thank y'all for listening. Kevin and I do have a show at 1:30 a.m. this morning. We usually do a show Thursday night if I can get out, but Friday and Saturday night for sure. And we're here talking about growth and high expectations. So the wave is the wave for the day.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna play these.
Listen, I don't know if that check makes you any bigger, but I need everything verified. I ain't co-signing shit. You understand? You dig what I'm saying? Too many people want handouts. They put the handout. What's that all about? I ain't for that shit.
Oh, no.
I'm for the people. I need that check signed with a signed check.
Don't. Okay. You know.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Yeah,
Eruth, what's going on? Shan, my favorite lady. Shout out to you. A verified check ain't shit. I'm still trying to get a verified check from Twitter, but that's not gonna happen. A lot of people though, they have a personality because of the check. I personally don't enjoy having a check, because people who don't have it swear that like we are like different because we have them. Newsflash, we ain't. No. It's just the fact that we got it first, and some people actually are haters. That's fine. But for me personally, like, it has done nothing for us. It has done nothing for me. I just appreciate the fact that I do have it. It doesn't just make me important at all. So there's that. But some people find it important. I just don't know why, and I'm still trying to figure out the answers.
Yeah, we haven't heard one yet. So thank you so much for tuning in on that for reals, because we want to know too.
That is Greg from Loudmouth Stereo and Young Black and Bothered. Please check out that podcast.
They busted our cherries.
I agree with her so much. It being slow makes you think. Like, I mean, you think about what you're about to say prior to saying it, and it is so important to be slow, because then if you're always fast, you don't get to process shit. Like, being slow allows you to be like, and being slow meaning just like thinking upon it, not like that whole negative being you're slow. No, I don't mean that. Just thinking prior than actually doing action is great. And I totally agree with you being more calm and more slow, because then you actually get to think before you speak. And that's one of the most important things people don't do nowadays.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
That's the gem right there.
Listen.
Y'all making me laugh so much. I love y'all so much, and y'all are great. Thank you so much for talking about this stuff. I'm having a great time.
Good.
Aww. Thank you. That's learning. We learning. When you're having a good time, that means you're learning.
Yes.
Hi. You're literally my idol, and I just...
Okay now.
Hey, Greg. Literally, you sound so fucking real, and I just fucking followed you. Hope you're happy about that. Can't wait to hear your content.
He's got good content.
Why can't Michael Jackson play chess?
Hey. That brings us right on time. Bam!
On time. You know what I'm saying?
Bam.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all coming through. Please remember the verified check just means businesses are looking to make some money. That is it. Okay. You still are human.
Yes.
There are be people that have something amazing to say about you and something that's very disturbing to say about you. And they engage with you because that means they're going to get attention, and not all attention is good attention. So just be a good person, come with something good to bring to the table. And if you have nothing good to say, this is also a space for you too, because people, when they feel shitty, they attract shitty people. And when you see flies on shit, what else do you see? More flies.
When I want.
You see more flies, okay? It's flies for everybody. Thank y'all for listening, though. Eruth, this was good, like I thought it was going to be.
Girl, you did that. We did that. The people did that. And it's exactly as we always wanted. Fully authentically us and having a whole bunch of fun.
That's facts. Let these people know when the show is tonight.
It's at 1:30 a.m. tonight. It is called Growth and Expectations. Everybody welcome. We want to hear everybody's ideas because we out here learning in these streets. And we might have another show we don't know yet, but just keep an eye. We usually run it for the Fridays and Saturdays. We're gonna be running it late in the like 1:30 a.m. in the morning or so. We try to come after your show because we like coming to your show and then coming afterwards. So 1:30 or so, 2:30 or so is what we'll be riding on some shows. But it's called Growth and Expectations. So thank you, lady.
Love it. All right, y'all come through in the next 4 hours. Okay, don't be late. Come in 3 hours if you think you're late. Okay, and
peace.
Ruth. Okay, and she will let you know when the show is. All right.
Yes, and have a good day tomorrow. I know. I said it, and then I was like, but also I mean it. Have a good day at work tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yes.
No, do we have a message? Is this a message? No, this is somebody. You don't be trying to. I'm about to do a recording for Cozy Womb, and then I'm gonna go straight to my bed. I might brush my teeth, but I'm going straight to my bed because if I don't, I will be up till 2 a.m. and I can't do that.
We can't do that. We can't. No.
Okay. So I appreciate you. We'll do because we need to.
Deuces.
Bye.